Good morning, folks. So, wanted to, for those who don't know, have you heard of the show Surrounded? Um, it's basically a show on this channel called Jubilee on YouTube, and my episode airs tomorrow. And yes, you can watch it for free on YouTube. But if for good morning, Diane, if for any reason you don't want to give Jubilee any views, or if you also just want a different, more expansive viewing experience, you can join me on Patreon for $5 and watch it with me. So I'll be pausing and playing and playing and pausing and giving commentary and additional commentary and giving you the tea on stuff that they've cut out because they always edit. Um, and you guys will be able to ask questions as well. Um, and I think this says this is it's interesting, the whole so the episode is one black radical versus 20 black conservatives. I have always said that from day one of signing up to do this episode, that's what it was going to be. At no point have any of those folks asked me, what is a black radical? Okay. Then it comes down to airing the episode and they're like trying to change it. They were trying to change it to one black liberal. Mind you, several times in the episode, I very distinctively say, I am not a liberal. And yes, Jessica, I say it with fury because I furiously am not a liberal. And it was irritating because it was like, where is this coming from? Like, I have always said, we've said from jump in writing, like all the things that I am a black radical. So then it comes down to them saying, well, we actually don't know what a radical is. It's fitting that this episode, hold on one second. It's fitting that this episode is airing during Black August so that I can say what a black radical is. So hopefully you guys will join me tomorrow. for the episode. Yeah, that's the premise. It's 1 against 20. It's called Surrounded. So, just me. So it's gonna be cloudy today? I didn't keep my pool. I didn't keep my pool. There was absolutely, like, fury at certain points. Also they're all very convinced that they are right, and they're all none of them have any facts. None of them. None of them are speaking facts. And I had to keep reminding myself that I am not here, like, trying to prove my point, because my points are not just they're not able to be disproved by these people. And so I had to keep reminding myself, like, I'm not going to get too far down a rabbit hole of trying to have a back and forth with someone that's committed to nonsense. So, like, this young man was on there trying to literally say to me that race is biological. And, part of the problem is that you also don't really have time to get into, like, oof, certain ex- explanations. Um, but, like, at a certain point in that conversation, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna, like, keep up. Like, I'm not gonna entertain this. Like, I'm not gonna entertain in real life a conversation about whether or not race is a social construct or if it's real. Like, you're literally trying to tell me that because we all have melanin, that we are proving that race is real. Yeah. So, well, if you're gonna do an episode against the far right, what other version? I mean, there are no people who are members of the far right that are not inflammatory. Like, that's, like, literally the crux of the ideology. So I would have loved to have seen Mehdi go against Zionists. That would have been much more useful to me. Of course, they're not going to do that because they're probably Zionists anyway. But that's what I think would have been really dope, is to see, you know, Mehdi go against 20 Zionists. But the other part of things is like, but a lot of people I think don't even understand that, like, there's something to be other than a Democrat, and there's something to be other than a liberal. Like, some broad on my YouTube today was talking about, Ronnie, why don't you educate yourself? Go to DuckDuckGo and do your own work. When people say educate me, I be like so livid about that because we live in a world where education is at your fingertips, and yet you want me at 8:26 on Saturday morning to educate you on what a Zionist is when we are 2 years into a genocide, an elevation of genocide in Palestine. Why the fuck don't you know what a Zionist is by now anyway? There are dumb questions. Can you educate me is one of them. When it's something that you can educate yourself on. Y'all be so intellectually lazy, it drives me crazy. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. Now, when I had this week on Views from Amandaland, I had Tiago Avila from the Freedom Flotilla. Why do I keep rhyming? Tiago Avila from the Freedom Flotilla. He was on the show and he was explaining to us about the levels of bureaucracy that are involved with the Freedom Flotilla. And that was really great. Cody didn't know it. And that was really great because, like, that's the kind of information that you can't really Google, that you wouldn't really know. You didn't ask my opinion. You asked me, what is a Zionist? Educate me. That's what you said. So if you want me to respond to what you actually want, then you need to verbalize it the way that you actually want to have it verbalized. If you say, what is a Zionist? Educate me. That is not asking my opinion. So cut it out with this paragraph. I didn't even read past the first sentence. Do not gaslight me. You did not ask me my opinion. I love that you guys are like, stop gaslighting her. Cut it out. You didn't ask me my opinion. You did not ask me my opinion. You said, what is a Zionist? Educate me. That's not the same thing as, what do you think a Zionist is? A monarch butterfly just flew by. Hello. So cool. No, he made me feel or they made me feel some type of way. But you see, when you are a public figure, you are not allowed to feel some type of way. You're not allowed to feel some type of way. You must stomach anything that any of you all throw at us or whatever and smile and be gracious. I mean, I might as well be a geisha. Because if I feel some type of way, then that means I am being rude or I am mentally ill, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If I have like a genuine response to behavior, then it is seen that I have a problem. I just dealt with this with people on my Patreon. And then they want to fucking gaslight you and make you feel like there's something wrong with you for having a goddamn human response. So I do, because I really am like in wonderment when I see butterflies go by. The butterfly said, "Not today." Like, I remember after October 7th started, there's a Palestinian, this is an example of, like, say what you mean. There's a Palestinian influencer who I followed and who I would DM with, and, I had the radio show at the time, and I was like, "I would love to have you on the radio show to talk about what's going on, because I think it's important to center Palestinian voices in this time." And his response was that he just was working and he was just too busy, um, and that he had videos to make, and so he just couldn't find the time to come on my radio show for 10 minutes to speak about, his people. And so I said something like, "Oh, I would have thought this would be the time to really oh, I did say something slick. I said something like, "Oh, that's an interesting." I said, "That's an odd method of I didn't say coalition building. I said, like, that's an odd method of, like, amplifying." And then he replied back and was like, "My family is being killed, blah, blah, blah." Cut it out. That's not what you said. You didn't say the reason that you can't do this is because you are mentally bereft. You said you can't do this because you're too busy making your videos. You said you can't do this because you have a job. And so that's what I'm responding to. So, y'all just say what you mean. I respond to what you say, not what you think you said. And then he like went off on me, and I was like, "Well, I hope that your family finds safety, and we're all, lifting the Palestinian people up during this time." And then he wrote me another message and was like, "I'm so disappointed in you. Get the fuck out of here." Please. I'm disappointed in you. Don't need the team. Yes, people use defensiveness to justify phoniness. That's it, creative visionary. I respond to literalness. That's it. Say what you mean what you say, because that's what I heard. That's what I'm going to hear. And that's what I'm going to do. Thank you guys for letting me body double this morning. Putting together these benches. My hearing is very good. Um, Angelica, I'm putting together some benches for my outdoor area. I'm having some people over, and I realized I needed to have more seating. I needed to have more seating. So I said, let me get some benches. And that's what I'm doing. I'm almost done. I've been out here since 7:30. The cats are getting along incredibly. It's like unbelievable. Hori was the last one. I always knew she was going to be the hardest because she's the oldest, and she's a little bit more finicky. But she has stopped hissing at them, and she is smelling them, coming up to them and smelling them. So that's big. The fact that she stopped hissing at them is huge. Mhm. Yeah, I got a screen door, and they at the screen door losing their minds. Would you consider teaching a course that is sort of activism meets merch? A course? I could do a workshop. Thank you. I could see doing a workshop or doing like a series of like masterclass Q&As, with brands like Wear the Piece and For Your Viewing Pleasure, Denim Tears, you know? I could see doing something like that. I just can't keep doing shit for free. Like if I keep doing shit for free, I won't be able to support myself. Well, it really, I mean, even a minimal fee, it's more so like it should be in partnership with somewhere that has funding. You have all these like nonprofits and shit that have funding, and should really be engaging with artists and literally have like budgets for that and don't. They don't. You know? So it gets frustrating because you're like, well, like I'm willing to share my knowledge. Every day I get asked to speak for free. Every single day. Every day this week, I will say at least. But then you also have like these like spaces that are supposed to be like, black spaces. And that's what I was making a point about before. Like these spaces are not actually about black elevation. They're simply just about black commerce. And black elevation requires more than money. That's really what these places is about. Oprah been pushed down our throats for the past how many years? And Oprah didn't do nothing to teach us how to be more in community, to teach us how to challenge the establishment that's holding us back. Nothing. Had a whole network. Whole network. So now we're here in the here and now, and motherfuckers don't got no tools. Not only do they not have the tools, they don't even have the mindset needed to fight for themselves. They mad at me for talking about Barack Obama being a centrist retired politician and that somehow being okay. Why is that okay? Why is it okay that a former president don't got shit to say while we are while we are descending into fascism? Why is that okay with y'all? He did his time. This is a fucking jail. Every president should be out here loud. Every president that is alive should be out here loud. Whether it is Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, every president, every member of the fucking cabinets, all of them should be out here loud. Conda fucking Lisa, all of them. But they're not because they're complicit. And y'all will do shit, everything for a bag. You know, I let some shit slide early last year that now be pissing me off when I think about it. I was supposed to do this chick's podcast, and then the people who run her podcast or who she's in partnership with her podcast told her that in order for me to do her podcast, I needed to denounce anti-Semitism and I needed to denounce Hamas. And she was like, I can't believe they did that. This is a Black woman. And she was like, I can't believe she did that, blah, 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 blah. I can't believe they said that, blah, 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 blah. And then that was it. And then she was supposed to come on my podcast, and then she did not. And I let it rock. But if she reached out to me right now, I would have words. I would have words. So it's like, what? And she was somebody I looked up to. So won't you stay with me? I got what you need. Won't you stay with me? I forgot. And like they kept like reaching out for her to do my podcast. And I was like, why are y'all asking her to do my podcast? I've been waking up 1 hour earlier, and when I tell y'all it is kicking my ass, kicking my ass. And one of my kittens keeps waking me up in the middle of the night biting my nose. That's why I look so tired today. This nigga Lumumba, man. He keeps waking me up, biting my nose. Killing me. Hi, Louie. Hi, Sakara. That's Patrice, MB. I don't look tired. That's good because I feel tired. And I feel like I have bags under my eyes that look like the size of groceries. I'm almost done. I'll make a grocery store run, be home by 10, and then I have 3 hours to prepare. Oh, yeah, you got to be on my Patreon to see my new kittens. I'm working. You see me working over here? J- Thank you. My Patreon is $5. My Patreon is the flyest. My Patreon is also how I pay my bills. My Patreon is literally my salary. Like I was trying to explain this to my mother the other day because I feel like she was going to ask me for money, and I was like, "Pause. I don't have a job, ma'am. I make income one of two ways: Patreon and uh selling merch. So whatever you about to ask me for, don't. Let me let me figure my life out. I already know I'm gonna be all right. But it's gonna take about probably about 2 years. I had an epiphany yesterday. I see my future. I know exactly what it looked like. And my epiphanies don't be imagination. My epiphanies be like I feel like they come from the oracle. Like if Oedipus had just listened to the oracle, he would have been straight. But he was like, "No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I know what it's about. I know what it's about to be. I know what it's about to be." Um, I'm not like that. I'm like, okay, oracle. Now what? Now point A to point B. Okay, okay. No, my neck only burns to tell me I'm going in the wrong direction. Like my neck burns to tell me like you have opposition coming your way. You have conflict coming your way. There's going to be like bad characters like in your midst. And so now when my neck burns, I be like, I can't. So when my neck burns, I can't change the outcome. like, sorry, it's not that I can't change the outcome. Like, I can't stop the bad thing from happening, but I can change how I respond to it. Absolutely Matrix vibes. So, I saw my future. I just gotta stay the course, but I see it, and it will be very helpful to all of us. Okay. I did it. I did it, y'all. What is this extra joint? I never had. Is it just an extra joint? Yes. Okay, yes. The Chinese, man, they think of everything. They're like, we're gonna throw in some little extra joints just in case, you know what I'm saying? Shit go left while you're assembling this joint and you feel ass out. We like, nah, you're not ass out. We got you. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. If you have considered joining Patreon today, tomorrow is the time. I will be on my Patreon doing a watch with me for my episode of Surrounded. One black rat, one black radical. There's a hole in the bottom of this bag, and I really thought I had like thought of everything. One black radical surrounded by 20 black conservatives. Can any of you all name some black radicals in the chat? Hmm? QEP, yes. Mando. Mando, get inside. Get inside. Y'all see? That's why you can't have nice things. Why are you such an escape artist? Chris Smalls. Chris Smalls is not a black radical, in my opinion. Cornell West, James Baldwin, Fred Hampton, Sasha Core, Angela Davis. Oh, I don't know who Wesley Cook is. I gotta look him up. And I don't know who Cedric Robinson is. I gotta look him up too. Bobby Seale, absolutely. All right, y'all taking too long to name these black radicals. So I'm about to go. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I hope to see you on Patreon tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for Surrounded, one black radical surrounded by 20 black conservatives.